What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. As always, I am Camtastic, and this is In Response, where every other week, 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 0 friends gather around their desks to update you on the goings-on in the CDH world and our personal journeys through that format. Joining me this week are my co-hosts, Nico, aka Mexi Delight. How you doing this week, Nico?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Just hanging out, trying to stay cool in this Fresno heat, and excited to talk about some Magic with you guys.
Awesome.
Julian, how
Yeah,
about
we're
you?
excited as well.
Oh,
I'm doing good. I'm excited. It's Friday, or it's gonna be Friday, so the work week is over. It's been a long ass week, so I'm ready for the weekend to get started.
Yeah, awesome. Glad to hear it, Mr. Magician MTG. But guys, remember, you can always tune in live on twitch.tv/Camtastic every other Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Sometimes we'll get there on time, it just depends.
Yeah,
If you
we'll
happen to
we'll
miss
do
out
our
on the
best.
live, yeah, exactly. We're doing what we can. Uh, if you happen to miss out on the live show, don't sweat it. You can watch it later on YouTube or give us a listen or follow on wherever you get your podcasts. But now it's time for the show. All right, so we were going to start off this week with a bonus episode. We're just going to do a little short recap to follow up on our tournament prep to our, unfortunately for me, we're going to talk about our tournament results. So,
yeah, I don't think. I mean, Cam, you and I didn't do so well, but Magician,
Oh,
you got top 10, right?
no spoilers. Gotta
No
gotta
spoiler
spoilers.
alert.
gotta make the people wait. Gotta make them understand what we had to go through to get to where we were.
I gotcha. I gotcha. So that means you
Okay.
probably want to go last then, huh?
Sure.
All
I
right.
can let you
Well,
guys go.
I'll go ahead and talk about my round. So, unfortunately, we had what was it, 10 players less than anticipated. So we ended up going to 4 rounds instead of 5 rounds of Swiss.
Yeah, we had
So
38 show up.
yeah, which is strange. I wonder where the other 10 people went off to. Was it
Not to
anybody we knew or were expecting or anything? Or
I don't know, but not to mention, I mean, the 10 people didn't show up. We also had, I think, 3 or 4 people on the wait list that didn't show up either or
hmm,
call.
interesting. It would have been nice to have a solid 40. I feel like that would have been cool. But
Yeah.
Well, in my case, I'm fine with it.
you wouldn't have bubbled in. All right. Well, yeah. So for those of you who maybe weren't watching our previous episodes, I was playing Atraxa Grand Unifier, 4-color Sans Red, aka Sephiroth. So big fan of Final Fantasy and Sephiroth. But round one, I was seat 4 and took the win with a Thoracle win, and was actually
Sweet,
third
sweet.
attempt. Yeah, so that was probably my best round of the day. Well, it was my best round of the day. Unfortunately, the only win. I was 1, 2, and 1 by the end. But there was a new one there I hadn't seen or expected, the new Kuja Rakdos. So making the 0/1 wizard tokens that ping people. No, seat 2 was the Grixis Kefka. So another Final Fantasy commander.
Yeah, a lot of Final Fantasy stuff.
Yeah. Seat 3 was our boy Ed playing Marnius. And then I was seat 4 playing Sephiroth or Atraxa. So it was kind of funny having 3 Final Fantasy face commanders. Technically, only 2 were the new ones, but yeah, just a Final Fantasy group there. But yeah, like I said, I ended up getting the win. Seat 4, I knew I had to kind of play the slow control aspect there. There was a first win attempt by actually Ed. He got by a Voice of Victory, so he had the Voice of Victory. Our seat 2 player with Kefka had oh, I can't think of the name of it now. The blue hermit that has an activated ability of counter target spell unless its caster pays 3, and then it's got a backside that you cast from the graveyard.
Yeah, hold on. I
Mis-
know this. I know this. I
Mischievous
know this.
something. Yeah.
Malevolent Hermit.
There you go. Malevolent Hermit. So uh, Ed went for the Thoracle win, thinking that the Voice of Victory was going to protect him from everything. I saw it instantly. He tapped out for everything. And the Kefka player was like, Voice of Victory doesn't stop activated abilities, does it? And I said, no, it does not. Activate that right now for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Got him.
Yep.
yep.
Uh,
So Ed had a hard lesson there. Shout out to our boy Ed. It was good. He was playing well up until that point. And I think we went another 2 turn rounds, and Kefka attempted to win. He just kind of jammed it out there. Kudos to him, but I stopped at that time, and then
What was he trying to do?
I don't remember at this point. He was just trying to get the discard effects. Kefka's got, infinite mana outlet, but we were keeping Kefka off the board. Like he cast it,
Okay.
it got countered. He cast it again, it got killed. I think he maybe cast it a third time and it got killed again. So whatever his Kefka plan was, he wasn't doing it. So he just kind of jammed the win when he got it. But I stopped it, and then when it got to my turn, that same turn round, I had a Voice of Victory out. And so I went for it because I knew everybody had blown their interaction, and so sealed the win there in round 1. So
Nice.
yep, feeling good round 1. Round 2, not so hot. I was seat 3. We had a Zerda player, Boros Wayne from Cookbooks. So he was seat 1 there. Got Tim Thrasios, me in seat 3, and then Tivit in seat 4 with B-Sphere. So again, for any of you guys who are watching our short interviews, B-Sphere we interviewed with the Cardboard Cookbook as well. So shout out to our fans there. That one was a pretty quick game. I don't think we went past turn 3, and Wayne took it with Zerda. So it was crazy. Me and Tim Nathras and Tivit, we all had Wish Claws out. And Wayne was like going crazy of how to play through 3 Wish Claws, and he had just enough interaction. He was able to tutor a Basalt Monolith onto board, got Infinite Colorless. We were trying to figure out what we could do to stop his Infinite Colorless. The only interaction I had was an offer you can't refuse, and I gave up that information to the other players because I said I don't want to have to use this to give him the 2 color pips. And sure enough, I had to use it on like a Conqueror's Flail is what it was. So before he got the Conqueror's Flail to equip, countered it. He got his pips. He then had a Savine's Reclamation in hand, so it was over at that point. So kudos to Boros Wayne there, pulling it out with Zerda.
And then just real quick, for those who don't know, the Zerda and Basalt Monolith interaction. So Zerda, the Dawnwaker, is a double Boros hybrid and 1/3/3 Elemental Fox. It does have companion text, but as a commander, you don't have to worry about companion. But the relevant text on it is 1 tap, target creature can't block this turn. No, I'm just kidding. The relevant text is abilities you activate that aren't mana abilities cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1 mana. So with the untap ability of Basalt Monolith, that's where Zerda goes in with the discount. So you tap the Basalt Monolith, add 3. Normally Basalt Monolith requires you to tap 3 mana into it to untap it. So with Zerda out, it only costs 1, and so every time you activate the Basalt Monolith, it only requires 1 to untap, so you're netting 2 colorless every time, and so you can go infinite colorless mana with Zerda and Basalt Monolith.
Yeah. So it's funny from there, and thanks for the description, Magician. From there, people were like, well, how's he going to filter it? So as an ex-Kinnan player, I'm like, well, there's tons of ways to filter the mana through artifacts. You got Packmaster, Beast, or whatever. I said he hasn't hit his land drop, so he could have Treasure Vault in there. But I was super stoked to see Wayne toss out a Mirage Mirror. Just like, go Mirage Mirror, House of Mirrors. So the other guys didn't know how that would work to give him infinite colored mana. So I had to then explain the stack of land, Basalt Monolith, and how that resolves, and he's got all the infinite pips. So it was fun interaction. And then from there, with all the red, white, and colorless, we pretty much were like, all right, what's your win condition? Because you can filter your deck at this point. So he showed us a Godo and the XX artifact machine gun thing. Yeah, walking ballista. There you go. Yep. So good win by him. That was a tough round for sure. And had he passed turn, he would not have gotten another turn for sure.
Yeah, definitely not with 3 Wish Claws.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's a very skilled pilot.
Jeez.
Very skilled pilot.
Yeah, and to credit him too, or they were asking for all kinds of information. They were like, "Hey, I can play this. You guys want to give up some info? We can talk about this. Otherwise, I'm just going to go forward." And I just kept saying, "Nah, do your thing. Like, there's not enough information to share here."
Yeah, they're a very skilled pilot, and they've been playing Zerda for quite some time, so
Yeah.
they're very, very good with that deck.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So then, yeah, real quick, round 3, man, that was a tough one. I was seat 1, seat 2 was Thrasios Rograk, seat 3 was Thrasios Nadir, our boy Thomas, and then seat 4 was Gyruda, and Thomas got a turn 1 ring, so we were all like freaking out. He was arch enemy instantly.
Yep.
We were politicking like crazy. I got a bowmaster out with a 27/27 orc army at one point.
Jesus.
That was after I killed the Gyruda player's bowmaster with my bowmaster.
Mhm.
That game was a grind fest for sure, and we ended up drawing. I was on
Okay.
my turn, past turn, time was called, and the Rograk Thras player just kind of petered out there. Maybe could have fought for it, but we all just offered up a draw and took it there. And then round 4, that was a bummer of a round. Again, I was seat 1 again, Thrasios Krark, seat 2, Itali, seat 3, and Kinnan, seat 4. Kinnan player mulled to 5, I think it was, and kind of like immediately said, I barely have anything to stay in this game. Turn 1 fish from the Krark Thrasios player. He drew 5 cards. 3 of those, I admit, were off of me, but I had to do that to be able to have my interaction for Abrupt Decay, Endurance, and Force of Negation in my hand because I didn't have the right pips without the treasures off of the Smothering Tithe that I cast a Dark Ritual into to cast that. So again, 3 cards off of that, and then he just popped off. Had his typical 40-50 game interactions there, and took the win. So, like I said, a bit of a rough day. I was really happy with the win in round 1. The grind in round 3 was just in the think tank the whole time. Great win from Boros Wayne on the Zerda, and round 4 was just kind of a shit happens type of thing. But
Mhm.
yeah, good day overall.
Yeah, speaking of shit happens, how was your day, Cam?
Yeah, so I'll just start off and say I was 0-4. It was a rough day for sure. I've actually had a rough going at it. I don't know. I mean, actually, I got some wins since Vegas, but I'm on like a 7-game stinker right now. But we'll go to the 4 that were part of the All Valley. So first game, it was a 3-man pod. It was me, my brother Wes, because we always get paired with each other, and
You guys do.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
it's
Yep.
horrible. I think there's some kind of alphabetical thing in the algorithm, because I'm also always seat 4. So I think there's something going on there.
Hmm.
Um, so and then we had a VV player. So we were in a 3-man pod. I mulled to 6. The VV player was like a new player, and instead of turn 2 stealing his VV because I didn't want to be a dick, I went for the Oculus and decided to just generate value, which I did, and but then VV popped off and ended up winning. So that was a live and learn moment. I got to remember it's a tournament. So
I feel like we've all been
Yep.
there for sure. And it's
Yeah.
hard, maybe round 1 even, like, no, tournament, don't be nice. Don't be nice. Just like you
yeah,
gotta
because that
gotta
just
stay
like
Especially when
aggressive.
it's
screwed the pairings
oh
up for the whole day. Like,
yeah, especially when it's someone you don't know too. Like if it was me, you would have done it 100%. Like
Oh, yeah.
if it was either me or Nico, you would have done it. But
Yeah.
because it was a new player, this was his first tournament. Like yeah, I can see why you would have been like, oh, I don't want to fuck with his day.
Yeah, and he was like a new player to Magic, like not just
Oh
new to
shit.
like CDH. Like he was like newer. Like maybe he's played Casual Commander. Probably I'd say give him like 6 months, a year under his belt, but he's very fresh to CDH. And it was also the nature of the commander that I was like, because it was Vivi, and so like if I steal Vivi, he's got like legitimately no way to get it back, and without his commander, his deck just does absolutely nothing. So I was like, damn, like this would completely take him out of the game, which is what I should have done. And also, like having a VV would have been kind of cool. Um,
How are you taking it, Stormdrake?
Storm Drake, yeah, because I had the
Yeah.
creature tutor in hand. I think it was Invasion of Ikoria, and so I could have Storm Drake, but instead I went for the Oculus,
Okay.
which my value was ridiculous. Like if it would, I mean, as everybody says, if it would have made it back around to my turn, I would have had it. But live and
And
learn, live and
so
learn.
So the creature that you would have found off of the Invasion of Ikoria was Volatile Storm Drake, which is a 3/2 flyer for blue and a 1, flying hexproof from activated and triggered abilities. And then when it ETBs, you get 4 energy. And then you gain control of target creature, and then you have an option to pay the amount of energy of the creature's mana cost, and you get to keep it, or you can pay less than or 0 energy, and then it gets sacrificed. So it's also a way to utilize it as a removal spell for even something that costs 5 or more. So keep that in mind, players.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it always gives you the option of removing it if you don't want to steal it, if you need to get some kind of stacks piece off the board. So that's why I prefer it over the other Drake. If I have to get like an Archon of Emeria off the board, like stealing it doesn't help me that much. I would like to get rid of it. So I mean, the downside is I can't steal Seedborns and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know.
Well,
You've got your own.
You play
Yeah.
Static Prison.
No, I've been off Static Prison actually.
Oh, okay. I was
Static
gonna,
Prison.
because that was a way to do it. Because Static Prison gives you the 2 energy.
Yep. So yeah, so round 2, I didn't write down my mulligan size, probably 7. I'm usually around 7-1, 7-2. Seat 1 was Magda, Seat 2 was Krark-Thras, which I know the player. Shout out to Zero Beat, Ethan. I've known him for a long time through the Krark Discord, and he is a very skilled pilot, very, very skilled pilot. And then we played against Sushi, which is a magician over here, and then it was me in Seat 4 because
You guys were in the same pod.
Wait, we
Round
didn't
2?
play in the same pod.
was it? No. Okay, it was a different Sushi. My bad. I wrote down
Okay.
There was
Sushi. I
2
didn't
of
write down
us?
who. Yeah, there's 2. Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't even see a second Sushi player.
Yeah. So
Damn.
Magda did Magda things on turn 1. It played a couple dorks, or a couple, dwarves, I should say. And then Krark-Thras
they're
started building up they're dorks essentially. You tap them, they make mana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dwarves are
Uh,
dorks.
yeah, exactly.
Non-traditional.
And so Krark-Thras just kind of built up their board. I was going for a turn 3 win. I had played a turn 2 Abolisher to protect my turn 3 win. And then it gets to the Krark-Thras player, but I was in Seat 4. That's kind of the problem. Krark-Thras player gets to 4 mana and casts his Ashling Flame Dancer, and gets 2 Magecraft triggers off of it, off of a free spell, because he copied, I believe it was the Gut Shot, copied it with Krark, 2 Magecraft triggers, dealing 2 damage to the entire board in our faces. So it completely took the Magda player out of the game. Really hurt me. It took me off my win because my cradle count wasn't what I needed it to be. And then next time around,
And your Abolisher was dead too, right?
Yep, Abolisher was gone.
Yeah.
So then once everybody went around and we were all just kind of like out of it, and then the Krark-Thras player just did Krark-Thras things, just started going off.
Yep.
They had an Abolisher out, and he did not have a doubler. He won 7 out of 7 Krark flips. It was insane.
Wow.
7 out of 7, every single one. We're all sitting there like, he's got to lose one. He's got to lose one.
Ethan had that?
Yeah.
Ethan had that many wins in a row?
Yes. He didn't lose a
God.
single Krark flip. It was insane.
So that's the same guy I played round 4, and he didn't have a doubler. He was just doing it. He kept winning them.
He was just naked Krarking it.
Yep.
So that's funny because all 3 of us played against Ethan.
Yeah.
And spoiler, which it's already been, but in my semifinals, I played against Ethan, and he also went 7-0 on naked Krark flips.
Loaded dice.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's
crazy.
Insane. He just freaking killed it on the flips, and it was like we had him in a situation where the Sushi player was like, he puts a Chord of Calling on the stack, and so the Sushi player fierced under the Chord. The Magda player had a bottle cap thing, that the card with the bottle cap explosion or whatever, and he took out the stupid Ashling instead of taking out Krark. So then, in response, the Krark-Thras player Ethan goes and puts a Chord of Calling on the stack, and so then we target the Chord, or excuse me, the Sushi player targets the Chord with the Fierce, and we're just like, okay, like, if he loses this flip, we're good. You know, if he's just got to lose the flip, and then he wins the flip, we're like, fuck. So then he gets the chord that he needs. I forgot the line he goes from there. I believe it was an Ewit grab back snap, he cast. He had a kitten out, ended up blinking his what we were trying to target, and it was just like from there, just
It was me.
crazy.
I was
I
like,
thought it
why
was
is
you,
this all
bro.
sounding?
Like, I thought it was you.
I was like, why does this all sound so freaking
I
familiar?
swear it
And
was
then-
you. I was like, I
Yeah.
swear it was like even right now. I was thinking, I was like, I swear to God, it was Julian that put the
I
Ferris on
and
the
I
stack
was like,
targeting the
I was
cord.
like picturing. Yes, I was picturing where we were sitting, and we were in the back corner.
You guys
And
are
that's why
hilarious.
when you said the chord and then the bottle cap, I was like, wow, did Ethan play against me and the Magda player in the semis again? That's
Yeah,
weird.
and so that was how Ethan went 7-0 in
Funny.
2 games. That ended up being one game.
Oops.
And I'm the
Yeah.
forgetful one.
Oh,
But
okay. Moving on.
so there wasn't another sushi player.
There
There's
was
just
not. It was
one
just me.
forgetful one. So, but yeah, so you put the, you know, he just had to lose the flip. That was it. Like, and then his
Yeah.
turn was done, and he wins the
Yep.
flip and copies the chord, and it was just it from there. And yeah,
Yep.
it
Because
was
he
just
got the kitten.
yeah, he just did
Yep.
Karkthras things.
Yep. It's all
So he
coming
took
back
it.
to me now.
Yep. And so round 3, I was playing against Tivit seat 1, me seat 2, which is B Sphere. Shout out to B Sphere who made top 10. I think he made final table as well, top 4.
He did. Yep.
We played against Keith, who was on Planar Bridge. Shout out to Keith, big friend of the pod. Shout out to his deck that has 0 counter magic in it, 0 anything except for
The
planeswalkers
only
and land
player
destruction.
not playing a C deck in the whole tournament for sure. He just wanted to
Yeah.
Yackle Hops or obliterate people and see him scoop.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and then we had a Dargo Thras player. Um, it was a good game. I mean, Keith was kind of doing. He was just playing lands and passing, and then we were. So it was the 3 of us. Like, it was a very political game. There was a lot of talking, a lot of like counter magic. Like, Dargo Thras player plays a birthing pod, and Tivit's like, all right, I think we need to do something about this. What do we got to do? And then we're just kind of talking about like what we're going to fight over. And so I end up playing, or they end up delaying the birthing pod, which pretty much saved us because Dargo Thras would have went off. So after that, we had a few turns underneath the delay. But Tivit just did Esper things, man. He was just drawing cards. He just had a Aristic out, and he was just drawing cards. And he had a lot of interaction. And at one point, him and I were gonna fight over. I forgot what it was. I think it was a Nature's Rhythm, and I was going for a Breeze Collar, and he was like, "You wanna fight over this?" He's like, "Cause I've got more interaction, or do we want to save it for the Dargo Thras player?" And I'm like, "Okay, show me what you got." So he shows me misdirection, and I was like, "Okay, we'll stop it right here, and you can just counter my thing, and we'll save it for the next round," which was good because Dargo Thras went for it again. And he was able to use the misdirection to stop him, and I had an offer in my hand that was also able to stop him, which is scary giving a Dargo Thras player treasures. But it ended up working out, and then Tivit just got there. Just ended up, so I had an Aberrant Oculus out, and it went down the exact same way it always goes down. Everybody's like, what are you tutoring for? I'm
Yeah.
like, Aberrant Oculus, the eyeball. And they're like, oh, okay. And then a turn cycle goes around. Everybody's like, oh shit, he just made 3 creatures, 3 uncounterable instant speed creatures. And then they either panic and try to figure out how to deal with it, or they clone it. And so he cloned it twice. And I told him,
Yikes.
Jeez.
I was like, you don't
Oh
want to
my
do
God.
that. I told him, like, I've cloned it before, and I've had 2 of them, and you're gonna burn through your deck like crazy. And so he did, and he was burning through it, and he was like, man, on second thought, like, this is not good for me. Like, my deck's not built to like facilitate. Like, he's
Yeah.
getting rid of counter magic, he's getting rid of like other stuff. And I was like, yeah,
Does it
dude, like a
trigger
lot of people
on
like it.
does it trigger on your upkeep as well?
Mm-mm.
Just opponents.
Just opponents up. Okay. So that's with one of them, that's 6 cards a turn round, 2 12 cards. Holy crap. Yeah.
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 Well,
2 of them
yeah.
6, 1 of them 3.
Yeah. 1, 3, 2, 6.
Yeah.
Which is a lot, especially if you're a Tivit player who's playing a lot of non-creature spells. So
Yeah.
but eventually the Tivit player just did Esper things, controlled the board, drew a lot of cards, and got into their win. But it was funny watching him mill a bunch of stuff. He milled a Time Sieve, milled a bunch of things that were just like, oh, nice.
Yep.
And at one point, shout out to Keith because he did drop that Juggalops, and
Did he?
holy crap,
Oh, really?
holy
Oh my
dude,
god.
everybody was like visibly shaking. They were like, and we're all looking at each other like, "Hey, you got anything? You got anything? You got anything?" And like, I didn't have anything, and Dargo Thras didn't have anything. Luckily, Tivit had something, and we were just like, "Oh my god, that was a close one."
Yeah.
He's just sitting there in the corner, just like laughing his ass off, just like,
Just
I'm
laugh. I
sure
bet.
that's exactly what he wanted for the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was
yeah,
his tournament right there.
yep. And so, like, but Keith was good at politicking because he was totally like, I don't run any counter spell. Like, when somebody was like, well, we don't want to let
Yeah,
Keith draw, because Keith played Aristic, and we're like, oh, we don't want to let Keith draw. And he was all, I don't play any interaction. I don't play any counter spells. So then everybody was like, all
very
right, just
true.
fucking, just draw, man. Just draw. They're just like letting them draw.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
because
dude,
at
we're
that
going to get
point
our
it's
lands
like
wiped.
less cards or less chances for him to flip over something
Yeah,
from the bridge for free. So
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I convinced this quick side note because our buddy Keith, he's near and dear to all of us, but I think I convinced him to put Itali together or at least look into it because
Nice.
he's much more of a straightforward kind of big, big flips or haymaker plays. So I was like, dude, play Itali. It's picking up speed right now for sure.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And I could totally see him like enjoying analyzing the lines to get to 7 mana.
Mhm.
Like, he's
Yeah.
got one goal, and he just has to accomplish that one goal, and that's something Keith can totally execute, I think.
Yeah. Because that's what he's doing for Bridge right now anyway.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah, that's true. You just got to get to the 5. So, I mean, that was a fun game. At no point in any of my games did I feel like I was out of it. Like, all my boards progressed like heavily. I was in each game. Keith blew up my cradle. That was huge. Yeah, Keith blowing up my cradle was really big. I forgot about that one. That was a point where I was like, damn. All right, plan B. So, which actually is plan like D, is like devoted druid. D for devoted druid. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, so I didn't until that point. I don't know. I didn't feel like I misplayed at all. There wasn't any moments where I was like, aside from not stealing the VV, where I was like, oh man, I really misplayed that. I think sometimes you just don't win them, you know. And then round 4 it was just me. It was a 3-man pod. Me, Rogsai, Ed, and I was seat 4 again. So 3 out of my 4 rounds, I was seat 4. That was fun.
Ooh, rough.
Yeah, I told you guys, I always get seat 4. That's one of the reasons I always get Oculus. I'm a firm believer that Oculus can help me from seat 4 because it's giving me both card advantage if it's a creature, and it's giving me land advantage if I have Cradle. So it catches me up.
So that's a good like in-depth analysis of like how you have to play a deck. Like that most people who pick up a deck would not know how to do.
Yeah, based on turn order. Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like I know how to play Magic, but the tournament results say I don't.
Hey, I've seen you win plenty of games, Cam. You'll come back. That was just
That's
the
back.
first tournament jitters there.
But
And
yeah.
I'm sure you were in your head after round 1. I know I would have been.
Oh, I was
Mhm.
heated with myself.
Yeah.
Round 4 was fun. It was just we were all like, well, we could all draw, like, and then none of us go home with 0-4 losses, and then but we just ended up playing so that somebody could get a win, and Ed ended up getting the win. Rogsai went for it. We stopped Rogsai, and then after that, he kind of just did Rogsai things when you stop Rogsai and just chilled there, and then
Mhm.
Ed was just doing Marnius Esper things again, man. Just drawing more cards than me and just like taking my shit out, just like blah blah blah, blowing my shit up, and I'm just I just can't keep up with that. So he won,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's tough in a 3-player pod. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I had 2 3-player pods out of my 4 rounds. Kinda lame.
Yeah, you
But
had round 1 and round 4.
That's no fun either. That's not a feel good, at least for me, to be in a 3-player pod at, 1 in the day, sure. But to catch 2 of them, that sucks.
it's like
Yeah.
fighting a girl. Like if you win, it's like cool, you won a 3-player pod, and if you lose, you're like, come on, dude, you lost in a 3-player pod. Like,
I don't know about that analogy.
Maybe lose-lose scenario, huh?
yeah.
Oof. All right.
Cam's
Well,
gonna get lit up in the comments for that one.
I don't know.
yeah.
Tay's the one watching, and he's Mr. Hot Takes. So
All right.
All right,
So
magician, tell us about your day.
So my day started off. I was also in a 3-player pod. Um, it was me on Tentacle Sushi. Then I was playing against Sisse, Weatherlight Captain, and Atali. And my first 7, I believe it was my first 7, was Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation, Born Upon a Wind, Skull Clamp, Carpet of Flowers, and then 2 fetch lands. And so I looked to my left, and I was like, he's a 5-color deck. He more than likely, because I believe he kept a second 7, he's probably got like some sort of mana dork or fish or something. So what are the odds of him hopefully having a blue land, right? I was like, all right, I'm just gonna bank on this and just try and jam a turn 2 win, because Atali's not gonna stop me. So I fetch, I put the carpet into play, and the Atali player immediately looks at the Sisse player and says, "Don't play an island. We will lose. Do not play an island. Do not play an island." And then the Sisse player draws a card and he goes, "I have to play an island." And he's like, "Don't do it. Just pass." He's like, "I'm not going to pass on my first turn and not play an island, not play a land." So he plays a tropical island, and he casts a Mox Amber and a Delighted Halfling. I was like, all right, sweet. So no open mana. So the Natali player, I think, played a land and plays like I think he played a Lumberjack or something, an Orcish Lumberjack. And so I draw my card. It's a Lotus Petal, so, never didn't have it. And I target the Sisse player, make a blue mana. I play my crack my land, go get the third mana that I needed, play the Lotus Petal, and I present Thoracle and the Demonic Consultation, and I won.
How salty was the Atali guy at that point?
Oh, he was pissed, but it's that so to alleviate the salt factor,
Just
the
show him the pedal.
no, the Sisse player revealed his hand, and the only 2 lands that are in his hand was a Tundra and a Tropical Island.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
no
he
way you can
literally
ask him to
did
just
not have
play
another
a land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no way would I pass without playing a land either. That's just uncalled for.
It was like you're in a
So-
like a 2-player match, because you're playing against Atali, so there's no interaction then.
Exactly.
That
And
was
that's
crazy.
why I felt so comfortable with just jamming it.
So I know that Nico mentioned that Atali player got super salty during his game before. He didn't mention it on the pod, but we talked about it before. This guy sounds like just a salty dude. And
A
I
little
feel like
bit,
at the
yeah.
end of it, like I'd be like, listen, buddy, if you have all these opinions on how to interact with things, play blue. Like,
Yeah.
get out of here, Gruul player. Like, come on.
I even after that round 4 loss to Kark Thrasios, I even tried to tell him like, "Hey man, this is what I had to do. I needed the treasures off the tithe, so that's why I needed to jam the tithe out. Here was my interaction. If the Kark Thras player had gone down certain lines, I could have stopped him." And even Ethan, the Kark Thras player, like he get probed at one point, so he saw my 3 pieces of interaction, and he actively pivoted what he was doing as soon as he learned what I had in hand. So I tried to explain it. The Itali guy still just was salty. So I'm like, all right, he can choose to be salty. So I tried to make
Gruul
peace.
players.
Hopefully, yeah, and for sure, to your point, Cam, like play a color that has interaction, not Gruul, right?
Yeah. Or bluff the open mana and show that you might have like a red blast or a pyroblast or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have
Anyway.
a turn 1 or 2 Atali? Yes or no? No? Then shut up. That's your contribution to this game.
Right.
Right. So like Nico, I started off the day with a win. Definitely more than I thought I was going to. But then round 2 is I was playing against Magda, Kark Thras, me, and then some person on Yoshimaru and Thrasios.
Sucks.
Yeah, and so I mean, no need to go into that game. We already know that Kark Thras won through that very, very lucky coin flip scenario. But the hands just to go over the hand I kept, it was a 6 with Odawara Breeding Pool, Mystic Remora, Training Grounds, Finale, and Bowmaster. I know that I did get the Bowmaster out at some point. I did actually get the Blackland, but I started with the turn one. I think I actually started with the turn one Training Grounds because I wanted to wait on the fish so that I didn't have to consistently tap out on every turn. I wanted to be able to have the Thrasios in play. So that was a loss. And then round 3, it was a second 7. And this one was an interesting one. So seat 1 was Rayhan, Rograk, so
Yeah.
Jund. I was in seat 2. Seat 3 was Timnacrom, Blue Farm. And seat 4 was the Wandering Minstrel, not piloted by Tim. And so looking at my opponents on my second 7, I kept Abrupt Decay, Mana Drain, Force of Vigor, Worldly Tutor, Crop Rotation, Birds, and a Windswept Heath. So I did actually write notes down for this one. And so I'll kind of just quickly read over it. So Ray Rog was an oops all spells. So the win condition for that mostly is get to 4 mana, cast a oh my gosh, now I can't think of it. Balustrade Spy something, I think it is.
Yep, the spy. Yeah.
And then you flip over your deck, you mill your whole deck because you aren't playing lands, and so the lands that you're doing that you are able to utilize are all the MDFCs. That's all he was doing was rocks and MDFCs.
Balustrade Spy. It's
Balustrade Spy.
Ravnica remastered. 3 and a black for a 2/3 vampire rogue, has flying. ETB, target player reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card, then puts those cards into the graveyard. So
Land. Okay, I was getting that mixed up with Hermit Druid.
yeah.
So he milled his entire library, and then he went through a way to get Bloodghast into play by putting a MDFC into play, and then he was able to Dread Return the a Hazel's Brewmaster into play, and then he was going to exile his Devoted Druid, but I had in the course of the 2 or 3 turns that preceded this win attempt, I drew a Deadly Rollick, which is literally the best card to have in that scenario. Literally the best card to have in that scenario. So in response to the targeting of the Brewmaster on the Devoted Druid in the yard, I Deadly Rollicked the Brewmaster. Completely just took him out at the knees. He had nothing. And so after that, at Blue Farm, at the end of the turn, at the end of Rograk's turn, he goes for a Mystical Tutor. And I let it resolve. I had Oppo in my hand, but I didn't know what he was going to get, so I was fine. He got the Intuition. So then I Worldly Tutored for an Oppo. I knew that he had a Silence in play because the Wandering Minstrel, I think, played a Gataxian Probe. I think that's what it was. And so I untap and I pass the turn. I don't do anything. I play a land and I pass the turn. Blue Farm, upkeep silences. I have to opposition agent at that point. He intuitions and gets Brain Freeze, LED, and Savine's Wreck. And we knew that he had the Underworld Breach in hand. Yep. So he was set up. We decided to give him the Brain Freeze, I think it was, after talking with the ROG player. And he had a what was it? He had a Flood Caller in play from a previous turn. And so he flashes out the Underworld Breach, still with the Silence on the stack, because we let the opposition resolve because there was no point now. The Intuition already resolved. So we are still in response to the Silence. And so he cast the Breach, then he goes to LED. He activates the LED, discarding his hand. He revealed that he had a demonic consultation and a uh, offer you can't refuse. And so with those, he goes to cast Brain Freeze. In response, I evoke Endurance. And then I don't remember what happened at that right after that, but something else happens that results in me also having to cast my Force of Vigor, targeting his Breach and his Rhystic Study. And I was able to pitch for each one of these. So at the end of this whole thing, all I had was a mana drain in my hand, and the only thing he finds to do is he escapes his demonic consultation, and he names Mindbreak Trap. So he starts going and going and going and going and going, and it was the like 13th to last card. And in order for him to do all of this, he had to escape the decon by exiling the LED and the Savine's Wreck. So he was wrecked.
Yeah.
Minstrel had nothing the entire time, 0 help. But he pass. So we pass on the Blue Farm's turn after he decided after we table talked and said, don't king make, don't mill. Obviously, the guy that wants everything in his yard, which is the minstrel player, and don't mill me because that's king making. Just either mill yourself or pass. So we passed. Minstrel ended up playing an imposter mech for some reason, and he copied my opposition agent. Why? I don't know. I was like, sure.
Maybe they wanted to tutor on their next turn or something.
People don't understand how the interaction works.
He showed me he had nothing. He just wanted to play something. And so before we got to the Oops All Spells guy player, we decided to draw. Hindsight, he had absolutely no other way to win. So if we would have just passed the turn, I definitely could have had a much better way, a much better chance to win that round. But we instead just drew. So that puts me at 6 points for after that round. I'll try and speed this next one up. Round 4 was Kinnan, me, Tivit, and Rogthras. Tivit was piloted by Brian or B-Sphere. I kept 7. It was Command Tower, Cradle, Emergent Zone, Ancient Tomb, Misty, Training Grounds, and a Bowmaster. And the reason why I kept that hand was, again, Training Grounds is a good value tool with Thrasios, which I'm going to need to do to be able to keep up with the Tivit. And the Bowmaster is there for the Rograk and the Kinnan. It did prove to be very, very useful against the Kinnan player because we were able to politic me and the Tivit player. Because we needed a win or draw, the other two were locked in, so they were okay with losing, and so we decided to kind of team up in that round. And together, my Bowmaster was able to take care of the police the table for a while, but we ended up drawing, and then it was that end of Swiss, and we got super excited because we were the last table, and the postings came out, and all 4 of us made it into the top 10.
Nice.
So that was pretty exciting.
So 7 points was the bubble, huh?
7 points was the bubble. I got in at 9th place.
Interesting.
And so with that, my pod was Karkashima, piloted by the other Nico in the room. A very, very
semi-final
good
round, right?
Yes. He's a very good Karkashima player. He's been playing it for a long time. And then we had Esteban on Rakdos the Muscle. And then we had the Rog Thras player from my previous round, and then me in seat 4. And I had to mull all the way down to 5. I kept Rhystic Study, Delighted Halfling, Elves of Deep Shadow, Polluted Delta, and Fairy Mastermind. And then after a lengthy win attempt by the Rog Thras player, we finally all agreed that that he has the win, but it was very, very, very confusing the way that he was going about it. So just players, make sure that you understand how your deck wins and that you can present it very clearly, because it is very important. But regardless, congratulations to the Rogthras. He did take down the entire tournament in a very cool fashion. He did win on turn 2 in the finals. I don't know if he was in first seat or not, but he did win on his turn 2 through an LED brain freeze underworld breach loop. So
Nice.
and that was the tournament.
What a hell of a way to end the tournament too, on a turn 2 win in the finals round too. That's like
Right.
the best you can ask for, huh?
Yeah. So
Well
all
done, now
in
we're
all,
matches,
I'd
yeah.
say for real. So all in all, after the day, I spoke with Tim, the one of the owners of the shop, and he's very satisfied with the turnout. We were definitely hoping that we were going to get the 48, but not bad for our first tournament. 38 players, and we're gonna hopefully be able to host more in the future.
So any discussion from Clovis Cards and Comics on when the next tournament might be?
Nothing yet. Nothing yet, but there is talk of already trying to upgrade the space. So we're not going to we're probably not going to be in the shop. There is a possibility that we're going to be outsourcing and
Cool.
trying to get more seats. So
What about next tournament in the Valley area?
nothing that I know of,
Or
but
LA, San Diego?
yeah, Cam, do you know what's going on with that one?
Yeah, there's a gold event going on this weekend down at TC Rockets in San Diego. There's I know Fishbowl 6 has been announced October 25th that weekend in San Diego as well, hosted by TC Rockets and Playing with Power. Every month, once a month, there's a gold event, a top deck gold level event at Dave and Buster's in North Hollywood down in LA. And then Fire and Dice, or no, sorry, Finch and Sparrow does quarterly, so once every 3 months they do Birdcage, which is another one. So that should be coming up here within the next month or two.
Tournament
Cool.
at
And
Dave
then
and Buster's sounds interesting.
Yeah,
yeah,
that
for
venue's
real.
actually like worked out for a lot of people, and there's a couple spots on the East Coast that use Dave and Buster's as well. So people really like it. They say it's a lot of fun to have it there.
Sure.
Cool.
So I might try one day.
And then all we're in talks about going down to Fishbowl too, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
It's
to
on
make
the
that happen for
calendar.
sure.
We'll see what happens. Yep.
Yeah. So if we do go out there, we're definitely going to try and get more interviews. So if anyone's listening, and is interested in being interviewed, if we do make it down there, let us know. You can hit us up on our new Instagram, or you can leave a comment on our YouTube or on Spotify or Apple Podcast. Let us know that you're interested in being interviewed, and we can try and set that up.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right,
Cool.
fellas. Anything else to chat about the tournament right now?
No, I think I mean,
Oh,
even though I went 0-4, I had a really good time. It's nice having a bar next door to go hang out and have a couple beers and laugh and joke about the rounds and stuff like that. So yeah,
that
I
was
think it was
clutch.
successful. Yeah. So I
Definitely.
look forward to having more out here so we don't have to drive so far to get some tournament practice in.
Yeah,
Agreed.
for real. Yeah. All right. Well, Cam, you want to sign us out? Or unless Nico,
Yes.
you got something else?
Nope, I'm good.
Cool,
Outro
cool.
time.
Yeah, that was great timing. Well, everybody, that's the show. Thank you for everyone that joined us here tonight. Make sure that you guys tune in with us every other Thursday here at twitch.tv/Camtastic for the live show. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube page and follow us wherever you guys get your podcasts at. We appreciate all the support and thank you so much, everybody. Until next time, stay magical.